Monday, I asked my audience to send in their most embarrassing stories, and I think they've done that. I asked them to send their stories into an email. I haven't read any of them yet. I've had someone else go through and star the best ones. But just looking at some of the titles of these emails, we're in for a treat. We're in for a treat today, laughing at these poor people. I caught my dad talking to cam girls while on my computer. Oh! We're already off to a great start. We're off to a great start. So about last year or so, I gave my laptop to my dad because his wasn't working at the time, and he said he had some important work he needed to do. I made him an account on the laptop since I didn't want our stuff mixing up, and I guess, you know, you didn't want to see the stuff he was looking up on your laptop, although it seems as though that didn't work. I gave it to him and went along with my day. I forgot about it till the next day and went to his office to collect it as I needed to submit one of my finals. Opened the laptop and logged into my account. I saw that his account was still logged on, and since I had a MacBook at the time, it was kind of making the laptop overheat, so I logged into his account solely with the reason to log out. That's it. And the first thing I see on my screen is a chat room, but with a video of a girl showing her blah blahs. I was so shocked and mad because he's married to my mum. Oh my god, it would be slightly better if he was just, like, you know, divorced. It'd be slightly better. Slightly sadder, I think. I don't know why it makes it sadder. It just does. So I wanted to see if maybe this was just an ad or something. Nope. Turns out he would... How did you find out he would send money to them? It turns out he would send money to these girls if they would do what he asked. Oh, no, don't tell me you looked at his chat history. Don't tell me you looked at his chat history. His chat history was disgusting to read as endorsement. Everything was so fucking horrible. Oh, you got to see his chat history. Oh, please, no, you haven't told me what he was saying. I need to know what he was saying. Come on, for educational purposes. I put everything back the way it was and logged out, submitted my final, and left the laptop in his office. I've never said a word to him or my mum about it. I don't even know how I'm supposed to start. Yeah, I just don't bother. Just don't fucking bother. There's no point. I don't even know how I'm supposed to start that conversation, so I keep my mouth closed. I did want to tell my mum, but seeing as they already have so many marital issues, I just didn't want to burden her with another one of them. Can't look at my dad the same way anymore, though, that's for sure. And this poor soul has sent in another one. This is from the same person who's emailed in. I hate commented on my school's Instagram post and I got in trouble. In 6th grade, about 7 years ago, basically, I was really mad about school homework and my teachers. Little 12-year-old me got on her iPad, opened the Instagram app and scrolled the screen until I found a new post from my school's Instagram account about some student representative head girls and head boys. I don't even know why I got salty, but I went in rage mode and commented under it, fake ass school that doesn't care about their students. You losers are all pretending to care, but you don't, and I hate it. What? Why? Why did you post that on a post about student representatives? Nothing about this school is good. I hate my life, and I hate all the homework you guys give me to ruin my weekend. Oh, no. Oh, not the homework. In my defense, I thought no one was going to... Yeah, of course they're going to read the comments on the school Instagram page. They'll probably get like 5 comments on each post. There's not exactly much to filter through. I thought no one was going to read it, but the principal did, and she forwarded those comments to my parents and threatened to pull me out of school. Also, a very popular teacher replied to my comments saying the school is an incredible foundation for hope and love, and hate is not wanted, because I was so scared of being expelled. I replied saying, OMG, it was a truth and dare game, and my friend dared me to post this here. Didn't think anyone would believe it. Got sent to the principal and teacher's office, and they made me write 100 pages of I am sorry for disrespecting the school. You had to write lines for 100 pages for that. That's some fucking Simpsons punishment. You don't see that shit in real life. So this next one is titled Pissed in My Dead Uncle's Joggers. On 420 last year, me and my cousin were in the woods, and I had borrowed her joggers that were previously owned by her dead dads. I desperately needed to piss, so went in the woods, but the joggers were so big I had triple knotted the string to make sure they didn't fall down. I didn't undo it in time and pissed all over the joggers. I had to wear her hoodie around my waist and pretended I was on my period. I still haven't lived it down. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, she definitely found out. Probably because her dead dad's joggers now smell of piss. Hey George, my name's but please keep me anonymous. Why have you told me your name then? Why have you told me your name in the text of this email? This one is just titled Road Closure, by the way. I work for a supermarket doing delivery, starts with a team. I wonder what supermarket that could be. One day I was going down a country road and I came across a road closed sign. It was the only one. Half a mile later, I came to a big metal fence, ground dug up and pipes exposed. I couldn't turn around and the turning point was more than 3 miles behind me. However, some local farmers made me go around between the fence and wall. I got through. On the way back, I went the same route and squeezed my van between the fence and the wall, but the back wheel went into a hole I didn't see. 3.5 tons was now sat on a water pipe. I panicked and put my foot down. The van came free, but I left behind a broken fence. I checked for cameras/CCTV before I drove off and said nothing. God, you're tarnishing the good name of unnamed supermarket that begins with a T. What would Mr. Mesco think? A few months later, I'm in the same job and I was delivering to a woman who I got chatting to. She just moved into the area and I asked her where she's from. She proceeded to tell me the name of the place I got my van stuck and broke that fence. Turns out I didn't just break that fence. 3.5 tons worth of that van sat on that water pipe bent and cracked it. The company doing the work turned off water to the village for 2 weeks. You started a drought in a small village. Apparently they had to go to a village and grab huge containers worth of water. Oh, I mean, is that kind of on the infrastructure? That's kind of on the infrastructure if there's like one pipe providing one pipe that's not even that far below the ground providing water to an entire village. That's kind of on the water company. Still, the fact people had to like go to like a church or village hall and like pick up jugs of water and walk back to their houses. They had to use fucking well water so they wouldn't die. Jesus. I've told no one this story, but please, am I forgiven? I still feel awful and it happened almost 3 years ago, still in the same job. Yeah, I mean, you didn't mean to. You didn't mean to start, like, a drought in a village, did you? Yeah, I think that's forgivable, isn't it? It's a mistake. Hi, George. For anonymity's sake, I'll refer to myself as K and my friend in this story as A. Throughout all of high school, I was always the classic loner due to being autistic, but also for being a pessimistic, cheeky twat during the few times I did manage to socialize with my peers. During my later years of high school and eventually college, I slowly but surely managed to stop being an absolute gimp. However, the peak of my shittiness was definitely during a week or two of year 8. I feel as though that is like when your shittiness peaks. Like that's when you're like the worst as a human, is year 8. The majority of my friends were also fellow autistic outcasts, A being one of the closest because A liked to roleplay online a lot and I didn't think Discord was a thing yet. They introduced me to Skype. Oh man, reliable Skype. It was dreadful. Skype was fucking terrible looking back. The one thing that almost instantly caught my eye about Skype is that you could practically make unlimited accounts as long as you use a different email each time. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the same with most accounts. Due to being at the peak of my evil gimpiness at this moment, I was obsessed with gaining as much social power as... You were obsessed with gaining social power as a year... What even is social power when you're in year 8? I was obsessed with gaining as much social power as possible, even if it were discreet and gained via immoral and peculiar ways. I also lied a lot about a fake social life I had outside high school. The classic, oh, you wouldn't know them, they went to a different school shtick. Yeah, I mean, there were lots of kids at high school. It was like,
yeah, no, I've got a girlfriend, but she goes to like school, like, you know, other side of the country. It was, you know, it's a shame, really. It's a shame.
Of course she did, mate. Of course she did. Therefore, was already used to making and maintaining a roster of non-existent people. For some reason, the method of gaining social power I thought was a foolproof plan at that moment was to keep a huge log of basic info about all the students in my year. Don't do that. They're gonna think you're weird. Like, if that information ever gets out that you just fucking log basic information about everyone in your year, no one's going to want to go near you. That's so weird. It wasn't anything like gossip or their secrets or love life. Oh, well, that's nice. It literally useless, mundane information like their full name, race, hair, and eye colour. Why did you have that? Surely you know that information just at a glance. What if you... Because my high school is in a capital city, each year has roughly 250 students each, so obviously logging information about all of them would be a big task for a wee kid like myself. So I formulated a plan, being that I would create... Wait, so you were so obsessed with logging all the information about every student in your year? Fair enough, okay. So I formulated a plan, being that I would create several emails to create several Skype accounts to form a fake crime syndicate known as the City Name Teenage Mafia, abbreviated to CTF. Right, so the Cardiff Teenage... I don't know why you put City Name here, because you're speaking... This is clearly an English person, I think, based on the fact they say year 8. Or it could be Australia, because Canberra. I think in Australia they use it. It could be Canberra Teenage Mafia. It's either Canberra Teenage Mafia or Cardiff Teenage Mafia. I'd hedge my bets at Cardiff Teenage Mafia, though. Out of all my friends who use Skype, A seemed the most vulnerable to fall for my ploy, so I started messaging them on the CT. Hey, wait, so you've created a fake crime syndicate just to acquire, like, everyone's basic information that you know at a glance. You know all these people's information. Why have you made a fake crime? What is the crime? So I started messaging them from the CTF accounts. I honestly thought she would fold instantly and tell me everything I wanted to know, but instead kept going in between, Kay, I know it's you, and whoever you are, leave me alone. I wasn't going to give up so easily, so I switched back to my own account to explain that the CTF has also tried recruiting me and that she should follow suit. What? Just, you know that guy on the other side of the year, like, what colour eyes does he have? Do you know what kind of eyes he has? Yeah, no, you should just play along with these guys. They're fucking dangerous. Yeah, so, does he have, would you say his hair is more like dirty blonde or brown? I don't really know. I thought I had finally cornered her, but instead her scary, doesn't take shit, and no one messes with my baby mother started texting the CTF accounts and my personal account from A's account, cussing at me, telling me she's going to fuck me. Okay, that's a bit dramatic. To say she's gonna fuck up a year 8. I instantly start screaming, crying because I knew I fucked up big time. Because not only did she know where both my parents lived, but also knew that I was over at my dad's, and even worse is that she lived only a minute drive away. This is so pointless. This is so fucking pointless. Soon enough, I'm called into my dad's living room, and A and their mum are waiting for me. A kept their head down the entire time while I fought, instead of admitting to it all and apologizing. The next best course of action was to keep up the whole story. My God. Both of our parents were asking how I met these girls, which high school they go to, etc. I'd already made up entire backstories for these imaginary criminal teenagers, so I imagined which high school they went to, a real high school which was next to my dad's house, which was the final mistake I made. Both parents obviously knew I was making the whole thing up, so they smartly said they'd have to contact both the police and the high school that these girls went to. After this, A and their mum left, and as soon as my dad shut the door, I broke down howling it through tears that it was me all along. Oh, big surprise. Not much really happened except for having my phone and internet access taken away from me for 2 years. 2 years! You didn't have access to the internet. I've heard of pedos getting less. To impress a girl, I showed her old Dan TDM videos. How old were you? Title basically sums it up when I was 15. Oh, brother. Oh, brother, bless you. Bless you. I had a major crush on someone in my year, in like year 9 or 10. To try and get them to be closer with me and we could be better friends, I organised an OG YouTuber nostalgia night where I made a playlist of like 10 videos where we, in quotation marks, watched old Dan TDM, I Ballistic Squid and Stampy Minecraft video. I feel as though unless like you verified that she used to watch these, they're probably going to be incredibly uninteresting for her. I say we in quotation marks because she didn't respond to a thing I said while we were playing the videos, and it was obvious she was on her phone the whole time. Yeah, I wonder why. I wasted time out of this poor girl's day just to watch old Minecraft videos. Can you tell she never went out with me? And to be honest, I don't blame her. Yeah, at least you're self-aware. The time I accidentally insulted Stephen Molharn. Stephen Molharn is like one of those names which I know, but I wouldn't be able to put a face to it. Do you know what I mean? What does he even do? Stephen Molharn. Oh yeah, it's this bloke. I was picturing someone totally different. What does he even do? I just thought he hosts like various like ITV TV shows, stuff like that. Okay, fair enough. This person apparently insulted him. How did he do that? I was working at a fast food restaurant for the few years after I left school, and there was this one time where I was working on the drink station right behind the front counter. It was going perfectly well until about 4:30 p.m. The start of the dinner rush started to happen. It was normal until Stephen Molharn came into the restaurant. Probably just wanted a cheeseburger, but anyways, he took his order and waited until word started spreading he was in the store. What do you mean? Like, you hear stories of like Mr. Beast, like he can't be in like somewhere for a certain amount of time because like Mr. Beast is probably one of the most famous people in the world. He's got like, what, 300 million subscribers. So he just gets fucking flocked. I can't imagine Stephen Molharn would get flocked in a McDonald's at 4:30 p.m. until word started spreading that he was in the store. Well, fucking people were running in McDonald's, banging on the windows. You had to go into lockdown because Stephen Molharn was there. I don't even know what he looked like until 30 seconds ago. It was then that one of my friends came up to me and asked if I knew who he was, to which I replied, I'm pretty sure he works at Butlins, so he can't be that important. Little to my knowledge, he was standing about 2 feet away from me, but because I was too focused on what I was doing, I didn't notice him standing there. What followed was an eternal moment where I turned around to get back to my station, and I noticed him stood there. It was obvious that he heard me because we locked eyes, and he had a look on his face as if I had just shot his dog in front of him. You were pretty. That was a pretty rude thing to say. But it can't be that important. Every customer should be important to you at the McDonald's Corporation. You should, every time you serve a burger to someone, whether it's Stephen Molharn or not Stephen Molharn, you should go, Thank you for creating shareholder value with your purchase. I then had to stand there for the next 10 minutes as he watched me do my work with a look on his face that honestly made me, okay, was he staring you down for 10 minutes? With a look on his face that honestly made me want to crawl inside of my own skin. All right, next story. Undisclosed age. Had a close woman friend invite me around for fun. I go around there and things progress. I'm now there naked and it's not working. Oh, we've all been there, brother, all been there. While sat there naked, she told me to hold out my hands and close my eyes. In my palm, she placed 2 rose quartz crystals and said this should help you work. Oh, brother, run! Did she have a tapestry on her wall as well? Fucking get out of there, brother. You don't know what you're getting into. Did she ask you what time you were born? Did she ask you for your moon sign? Get out of there. It worked. It worked. It was probably placebo. I'm going to be so honest. It's probably just placebo. I sat in her room naked holding 2 crystals as foreplay. I lasted an entire 5 seconds before I shamefully told her I was done. We watched Jane the Virgin after until that worked. We resumed for another 5 seconds. No joke, lol. I forgot to mention I was also healing at this time. So she kicked me out the house and I healed away. Healed fucking hell. So you healed to her house. Healing on your way to someone's house to shag them, and then healing and getting kicked out for healing in the house, and then healing home. Keep me anonymous, please. Don't worry. Your privacy is my priority. Back when I was in high school, I don't remember exactly how this started, but every day I would take a slice of cheese to school and hide it behind the toilet. It became an inside joke in my friend group, and we all contributed to a slice every day. So this was numerous slices every day were going behind the toilet. Over time, it died out, and we forgot about it until about a year later, there was an assembly, and their heads had discovered the year-old mountain of moldy cheese slices behind the boys' toilet, and everyone in my friend group all remembered it at once, and we all just looked at each other in fear. We never got caught, but the toilets did get closed off for about 2 weeks while they got rid of the cheese. How much fucking cheese was there if they had to close the toilets for 2 weeks? And how had it not been spotted before if it took them 2 weeks to clean it out? They knew. The school was complicit in this. They just wanted to see how far you could go. I stalk my crushes. Hi George, big fan of your videos from the hellish landscape known as the USA. I have a really bad tendency of stalking crushes and learning about them without them even knowing who I am. A really bad example was I stalked a boy in my grade school because I really liked him. I was around 12 years old and learnt his school schedule. Took a seat behind him, wrote diary entries about him, and even wrote fanfic. You wrote fan fiction about a random 12-year-old boy in your school. You wrote fan fiction. You were a fan of him. We even had a little school project where we could write letters on hearts to people and paste them on their lockers. It was sort of mental health awareness thing. I mean, I'm wondering if that actually does anything good for mental health. Imagine not getting a single heart. I'd throw myself out the window. I placed him a love poem on his locker, and it was a god-awful poem. My dumb self gave him my diary entries as a way to confess to him about my... Man, that's like... That's one way to put someone off. So give them your diary entries, obsessing over them. But I genuinely look crazy. Yeah, I wonder how. He gave me my diary entries back, and I cried that day and wrote a song about murder because of how edgy and heartbroken I was. My child self is insane, but I accidentally learned another guy's work schedule just because I found him interesting. He looked cute in my opinion. This was like 2 years ago. He's not cute anymore. And works across my workplace. I work at a mall. I noticed what days he came in and what days he hasn't, and learned his schedule based off that. Oh, bloody hell. Bless the next guy's soul I have a crush on. You should probably stop this. Like, yeah, you should stop this. You should stop doing this. I once accidentally swallowed magnets at the ripe age of 15. Haven't told many out of fear of being labelled as a toddler. How do you accidentally swallow magnets? How does that happen? I feel as though you should have probably told someone because you could have died. Like, I remember... who was it? I think it was Schlatt. I think Schlatt told a story about his cat that swallowed magnets and he had to have emergency surgery because, like, they can, like, connect together in your insides and, like, that can be bad, obviously. Oh, no. When I was younger, I thought drinking alcohol was so cool. It is so cool. Drinking alcohol is sick. It's the sickest thing ever. It's not. You feel very sad afterwards. When I was 15, I decided to get drunk on a bottle of WKD. Oh, yeah, we've all been there. Bottle of WKD, bottle of Smirnoff Ice, one or the other. I began to text people on my phone pretending to be drunk and sending messages like shots while drinking a singular WKD. But these people weren't dumb and could clearly tell I was completely sober and just dramatizing the whole situation. The guy I liked messaged me back saying, stop acting drunk, it's embarrassing. Wait, did you text everyone in your contacts? What? And like 10 minutes later, I just messaged him as normal. This plays in my head quite often. Yeah, I bet that plays in your head quite often. There's a moment I have that plays in my head quite often for no reason in particular. Like, I don't even know how old I was. I was probably about 10. And I was like walking down the street and I don't know why. I just went, Soldier. I was like, I don't know why I said this, but I wasn't aware of anyone around me. I didn't have any headphones. I was just walking. I was going, Soldier Boy, tell her. And these girls walking past, just fucking like, what? That sticks in my head quite a lot. I don't know why. 6 years ago, I swapped my then girlfriend, now wife's cat with a more well-behaved lookalike. She had an all-black cat that was extremely aggressive. It scratched everyone, hissed at everyone, and didn't use its litter box half the time. Yeah, you can't be having a cat like that. And it's not even like a dog. Like, you can't really trade a cat. Like, so if it's a dickhead, it's just a dickhead. Actually, no, not all the time. Like, sometimes they have like bad homes and, you know, they feel like on edge. But if you've had the cat from a kitten and you've given them a good home and they're just being like that, they're just being a dickhead. My wife insisted she could get it to behave better. One week she went out of town to visit her family and I was supposed to go to her apartment and feed it. First night I went over, it scratched the shit out of my arm. I joked to the cat that it's not special and I'll replace it if it scratches again. The joke stuck with me until I had thought about it enough that it wasn't a joke. The next morning I went to the local animal shelter, found an identical cat who was already litter box trained and had acclimatized to people but was a little skittish. The old owner died of a heart attack and the animal shelter people said that's why they think it was skittish. But overall it was a lot friendlier and better behaved and the skittishness would help resemble the original cat. So I adopted it, took it to my wife's apartment, settled it in, and then drove her original cat to the animal shelter a town over. I was paranoid my wife would find it if I took it to a local. This is horrible. This is so mean. You shouldn't fucking put another person's cat up for adoption if you haven't, like, asked that. Well, I mean, it's their decision. You should go, excuse, like, it's weird to go to someone, excuse me, can I take your cat to an animal shelter and put it up for adoption? Oh, fuck. I later learned that the shelter was a kill shelter and they most likely euthanized the cat due to it being too old and not like, fucking hell, man. That's bleak. And not likely to be adopted. I didn't check. It's been 6 years since then. We got married 4 years ago. We still have the swap cat. It answers to the original cat's name. My wife knows nothing. She loves this cat and brags about how much better behaved it is. Every time I see it, I feel like a total piece of shit. Oh, man, that's terrible. That's terrible. It doesn't matter how bad the other cat is. You don't take it to a kill shelter. Fucking hell. Well, that's a dark end to this video. Like and subscribe for more confessions videos.